No. Let's see where Beryl decides to go with this. I assume that they kind of knew that Yuumi was coming. Yuumi is actually, like, not exactly
I would not be shocked if this is where we go.
I just love that Dove's debuting on Tryndamere in the top lane, one of the easiest possible champions to play. So much single target burst damage. A lot of AoE CC. Let's do it. Let's hop onto the rift for game number 1. He's going to be weathering the storm as best he can. Envy now could be in a bit of trouble here as Beryl does have the ultimate. He's holding on to it for a little while. That's a beautiful Captain Jack there from Envy. Has now got a battle on the bottom side as well. POG going to have to use the ult to get himself out of the way, and in the meantime, Envy's dead again. Do we have a pause? No, we don't. We instead have a fight here towards the bottom side. Croco gets exhausted. Kingen almost able to get this one back as Zeka, not exactly what he wanted, as he realmed Wart in and is going to have to get himself all the way back out again. So Kingen taken down, but it's in trade for Envy.
Yeah, Live Sandbox, and they will have that Drake buffer, as well as their front line that's still at this point in the game extremely powerful is Envy.
Yeah, he's going to get stunned up. Kale is here to try and help him out as the ult comes forward, as Envy's just dead. Not a lot that they could do about that one as the ult comes through from Pyosik. Now going to be transforming, does manage to get that reset as we saw. Croco now taking so much damage, and Pyosik eventually flashes his way out, but he'll be able to pick up the kill with the help of Beryl. And now Kale is just a cat on a book with nowhere to go and will be decimated. DRX with a huge victory on the bottom side. Whether Live Sandbox can get towards an objective to try and capitalize on some of our new bonuses when it comes to trying to get back into the game. Because as you can see, like, look at how healthy the outer turrets are for DRX.
Yeah. Man, look at how unhealthy this one's about to be. Unfortunately, too, in this game, they've been so far behind in terms of wave management because they've had no vision control that Tryndamere hasn't been able to do what he does in this stage of the game, which is to split push and be annoying and force rotations, then escape to give you that vision back. But they're just one step behind, so every time they clear this, they're taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back, and so Dove isn't able to make anything happen. Well, yeah,
Kingen has to be a bit careful here. Has popped the ghost, wants to get that quick draw over the wall, is going to ult to do it. Gets over there, but he will be collapsed on. Live Sandbox get themselves 1 kill. Can they get themselves more? Because the thing I was going to talk about before is that DRX, when they have a lead with this composition...
That's not true, I don't think. I hope not.
No, I've only got a hover hand picture with Coma. That's the only one I've got. As Croco's going to start up this fight, save us from that conversation. Going to be able to get the ult out of Pyosik to start things off as Live Sandbox are committing to this one. Realm Warp looking to try and get Zephyr out, but it's not going to work. And the last bullet will secure the death of the Rise. DRX possibly back into a position where they can make something work, but Def's going to take way too much damage. Not going to get slowed down by the Prowling Projectile, and Wind Becomes Lightning not going to connect onto Kingen, as that is going to be just a pick. Whether or not they got the extra gold confirmed,
I don't think so.
But if it was there, then those Drakes certainly were able to get them a little bit more. But as we can see, it's still about a 7,000 gold lead, and DRX knocking on the front door of Live Sandbox right now. We can see that rotational power once again coming into effect as they take down the inhibitor turret. Envy going to take a little bit of damage here as Pyosik gets camouflaged, but they'll just move themselves away as now Dove looking for Kingen.
You don't win this one, Kingen.
Yeah, and when you use your E to approach, yeah, the little quick draw over the wall is going to be enough.
Fight or flight, you know, in this case, we know which one.
Yeah.
He's just going to get the blast.
Bring around the Rosie is, yep, both of them now trying to get in. So another spin comes through from Dove. Diving on top of Kingen here as he dashes over the wall, has to wait out the ultimate, and it's not going to be enough as Dove grabs himself the solo kill theoretically, but there is a Jhin that got an assist. So technically,
so we're going to watch this one more time. He knows that he's in there. He is able to see over the wall, and yes, we play a little ring around the Rosie game here, but at the end of the day, without flash to get over the wall, you're going to lose this no matter what, because he can press R, and you can't kill that. Sorry, he tried his best looking for the brush, he did everything he could, but you lose those.
Yeah, and I think also there was just not enough mana to use the collateral damage to get
vision control over that Cloud Soul.
Yep. You can see Pyosik taking a little bit of poke here as he's going to get stunned up by Closer. The ult comes through and he's just exploded. Chain CC is beautiful in the final chapter now onto Beryl, trying to keep them in position, but it's a double kill for Envy. Live Sandbox, they might be doing it. They might be making the comeback happen as Zeka waiting in the brush here on top of Vision from Live Sandbox. But this should be a Baron, right? He's taking away the jungler.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, Unfelios can't come in here. It looks like he wants to try to maybe set up for a trade here, at least with the Drake, but that is not a trade you want to take here as DRX. This is actually an incredible position now.
We'll see when the engage is actually going to come through. Dove looking for that flank. Kingen now getting up into position. Dove, though, coming from the side, I don't think they have any idea, and he's ghosting on in. He's looking for Zeka, but he's going to go golden immediately. Dove straight taken down to the ultimate, but the Rise is just sniped from the backline. Envy doing some work now, as Close is going to go golden, avoids the collateral damage. It's a double kill for Envy once again, but now it's Def's turn to start popping off. Croco looks for it, but doesn't quite get there, and now Kingen trying to run around 3 people. Def, can he stay alive is going to be the question. The answer is absolutely not, as Dove. And he absolutely has been doing exactly that. This Genji Academy bottom lane certainly proving to be a fantastic choice for Liv Sandbox as they take themselves the mid inhibitor turret. The bot lane one's going to fall down as well, as now Croco diving on forward. They look for the final chapter and they get it as Pioshik tries to find his way out. The exhaust immediately, but the whirling death is there. The Tryndamere just dives on top. Deft is dead as well, and Liv Sandbox are going to push for the victory here in game number 1. And oh my god, it was not the game I was expecting. What a banger between DRX and Liv Sandbox. Liv Sandbox staying tenacious and keeping themselves in it. They'll even grab another kill onto King in here to wrap it all up as the Nexus falls down.
Those fights, like the fight where Zeka was blown up early, Closer just got on top of him and ulted him, and every single time he was set up to do so by Dove, coming in from those flanks, or Envy's curtain calls coming through, and Zeka was just... Also, like, he can fix it. And like he really needs to fix it, actually, in this next game and play a little bit safer around. Now, when I saw the Ezreal pick come through, I thought, okay, Liv Sandbox are going to pivot a little bit. It might be a Jace pick in the top lane, but not into the Graves. Looking like we're going to just run it back completely here with the Tryndamere. Look for the same type of success. Now,
so valuable. So now Envy going to have to be a little bit more up close and personal to try and get the same sort of value. It's still going to be the same point. However, they will have to prove it 2 games in a row. As DRX back on the blue side once again, pretty stubbornly staying there. Coach Kim has been known for a bit of stubbornness when it comes to stuff like that. Not necessarily as bad as CV Max, but bars going down low. It's just how life is for an Akali.
Yeah, it's the early parts. Zeka is really pushing the envelope, which of course is what you want to do in the early part of this matchup. Gives a lot more agency here now to Pioshik, who's going to look to rob this jungle, look for a smite fight here with Croco. Unfortunately, just a second too late.
Yep, not going to be able to get there, but they do now know that this could be a bit of a problem. Does go into the Shroud, is now Closer, should be all right. Zeka actually flashes over the Audacious Charge. That was so sick. Wind becomes lightning also now on cooldown, and Zeka's just going to smoothly move his way out. The slow from Pioshik with the standard is going to be there, and that's the flash forward. So Croco eventually picks up the kill in the end.
I mean, it's still an incredible play, though, from Zeka. The fact that he's able to force the flash there, because otherwise that's 100% a kill. And this ended up backfiring massively.
Yeah, it certainly is. Stun comes down onto Def, takes himself a lantern to try and get into a better position, is now Envy taking a bit of damage as well. Def gets the grab at him off, and that's the hook from max range. In goes Beryl and picks up the first kill for the bottom lane. Def now trying to get out of there, and he absolutely will, as Gravitum remains onto Kale. He's going to have to flash to get himself out, but is it going to be enough is the question. Infernum not quite enough range. As the flash forward from Defty once more, the flash hook, but Kale just hugs the wall beautifully.
Is available. They're actually going to try to sneak this away. Now, a very early Realm Warp comes through. Croco's going to spot this. He's got Scryers.
Yep.
And they're responding a lot better, a lot faster this time around.
This time the Realm Warp's there, though, so the tempo advantage should still be there. And Deft has the Crescendum available, so even though Liv Sandbox do rotate earlier, it's not early enough. As the playback onto Croco, he flashes forward, gets the knock-up onto Deft, who is still alive for the moment, takes himself a lantern, is now Closer, dives on forward, executes the Aphelios, but meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, the Xin Zhao has already fallen down. Dove, can he actually do it, King? And oh, the flash out of the way, Dove! The top lane Tryndamere God is making this one work, as now Zeka, nothing he can do 1 versus 3 or 2 versus 3, I guess.
So you grab the Rift Herald gold, but you're not going to get that eye. It is denied here, and he has full control of this lane. There's a hook.
Yeah, very nice hook, but Croco is going to get himself around, and a lot of respect is given. As soon as Xin Zhao shows his face, immediately DRX back away. Pioshik still lying in wait, looking for a potential opportunity as Calibrum comes down. Now we've got the close range guns. Flash out immediately from Envy. The heal has been used as well. Solar Flare comes through, but that is the playback. Kale now trying to create a nuisance for himself. Great hook is going to come forward as Croco flashes up to Deft. and he was trying to go way too deep for that one and gets punished.
Yeah, a lot of greed here from DRX getting punished tonight. He goes deep. There's a stopwatch on Kale, and this feels like game one.
Yeah.
He has both summoners.
Teleport as well.
Yeah. He probably shouldn't waste, but he doesn't know teleport's getting committed. He's going to use the ghost.
Yeah, he's doing his best to dance around the dead turret. Now wants to try and stop this one from happening.
Then
Lateral damage going to come through, and yeah, he does manage to get 2 people down towards that bottom side. No teleport available from Dove, and we do have the crescendum up for depth, but can they actually outsmite Croco is going to be the question. 4 versus 3 for now, but the 2 solo laners are still making their way in. Solar Flare to buy a little bit of time. Everfrost not going to exactly find it here, as Pioshik needs to be able to grab this smite. Croco gets into the pit. It's going to be a 50-50. They want to try and kill him, but no! Croco's going to steal it away. Deft is going to get obliterated as well, and Liv Sandbox just crushed DRX.
And this is another calculated move by King, and to try to set up for an objective. He overextends, but DRX are already moving towards the Baron. They're pinging it.
Tempo Jarvan as well, is certainly a thing. Of course, does increase the range now, so I guess that's what he's looking to try and execute on, as Solar Flare comes down once again, locking up the members of DRX, but immediately Closer just gets exploded. Kale now in trouble as well, as DRX trying to hold themselves in. Kale goes back, knows that he's dead. Wave, which is what Envy's trying to push forward to grab themselves some control. Zeka's going to teleport in. Great double knock up there, and the Moonlight Vigil comes down. Envy has to immediately get out of there, as the Chakrams are a big problem. The CC's good onto Dove, as now he has to try and get himself out, but now Closer is trying to get the work done. Def flashes over and at least executes the Tryndamere, but he will go down. Zeka finally actually able to do damage, and King is still a problem, but 3 versus 4, sorry, Beryl going home right now, and DRX win another fight.
Yeah, DRX win another fight, but this was not a fair fight, and they still almost lost it. Remember, the teleports we saw coming through super late from Closer and very far away. The execution of how he used his perfect execution there with the rotation back in, as Pioshik is playing with fire here. Okay, hold that thought.
Going for a little bit of a flank play, and yeah, KL is in trouble. The Realm Warp going to come on forward as Zeka in perfect position to get himself over the wall. Good hook to set it up. And that is a dead support. Croco dead for another 12 seconds, and they may have thrown a Baron. My God, if we get another throw in this series, Wolf, I may lose my mind.
Yeah, this is Game of Thrones season spring so far here in the
And I was pretty happy that show was over, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, no, I think we all were.
Plus, they managed to get the bounty on top of it as well. Now, 1 second until the Elder Drake comes up.
And the timing of this is so abysmal for Liv Sandbox. They will at least have Dove's ultimate here, but you have to somehow miraculously fight for this. This is all on Envy. For the first time in this game, it's all up to him to actually chip away super hard before this fight starts, but he's not hitting too many of those Qs.
Yeah, it's not necessarily working out right now, as Kingen started this one off already, and he can tank it for days, of course, as the Greats. Closer on the side, but he's spotted immediately. Out goes Pioshik, as Dove's going to get Blade back. Has to go into the ultimate as early as possible, and now wants to take down Dev. It's going to wear off, as Dev is going to try and grab him, but no! Dove goes into his stopwatch. Zeka has one as well, but now he's getting surrounded. It's a double kill for the top laner of Liv Sandbox, and maybe this game is just over.
Oh, it is definitely over, Atlas. They're going to push to win it. Dove again with the flank. Such an incredible play, but also Croco's right in where he needs to be, hits the Crescent Guard, and it all sets up. And unfortunately for DRX, both of these games, each and every team fight, they struggle to keep their carries alive when it matters most. And this, shockingly, actually will be a 2-0 for Liv Sandbox.
Yeah, Liv Sandbox, they turned it all around. It looked like DRX had all the control, but now the Nexus is going to get obliterated, and Liv Sandbox start off 2022 with a 2-0 over DRX.
Look at the damage here again. The damage overall for Liv Sandbox, very low, but they executed the targets when they needed to perfectly, and that's harder to do than it looks.
Yeah, and I mean,
승리 축하드립니다.
We're here joined by Croco
감사합니다.
as well.
감사합니다.
Congratulations on the win.
리브
Thank you.
샌드박스에 대한 기대감을 한껏
A lot of people
높여놨던
were
경기인 것
hyped
같습니다.
For
첫승
Leaf
어떻게
Sandbox
받아들이고
after
있나요?
seeing this match, how do you feel about this first victory?
이제 솔직히 연패
To be honest,
처음에는 연패할 생각으로
we thought we were
경기
going to
이겨서
start off the
다행이네요.
season with a losing streak,
그렇고
so I feel so relieved.
솔직히 재현이 형이 좀 많이
To be perfectly
스트레스
honest,
풀려서 말했었는데
Dove was
많이
so
맞을
bad
것
on the top lane,
같았는데
so I was really worried.
생각 이외로 진짜 대회에서 진짜 잘해줘가지고.
But he did
기분이
way
너무
better than expected on
걱정했던
stage.
시기에는 오늘 너무 시원시원한 경기력을 보여줬고 특히나 도부 선수
Especially
탑 전형 이후에
Dove, after the
첫
role
세트부터
swap,
POG를 가져가게
you
됐고
won the
상대
POG in your
탑라이너가
first
승계
game on a new
오늘
position.
이후에 좀 스스로 탑라이너로서의
How
대한
confident
기대치가
are
높아졌을
you
것 같거든요.
as yourself being a top laner after this victory?
솔직히 오늘 첫 번째 판, 두 번째 판
To be perfectly honest,
둘다 제가 POG 받을 수 있는
I think I
상이라
deserve
생각했는데
POG in both
생각보다
game
승계
1 and
선수가
2, you know?
그거는 안 되고
So I wasn't too
그래서 저는
surprised.
좀 아쉬웠어요.
It was
아,
actually a
POG 까지
bummer that I
노려볼 수
couldn't win
있었는데.
POG in game
그러면
2.
크로커 선수는 도부 선수의 탑라이너 데뷔전
Kuroko, what do you
보셨나요?
think of
어,
Dove's
진짜
performance as a
제발
top
연습
laner?
경기 할 때도 이렇게 해줬으면 좋겠다.
I hope
생각이 좀
he
들었고요.
performs this well when he's
그냥
playing
너무 잘해준
Screams
것 같아요.
as well.
전체적으로 동부 형뿐만 아니라
I think he's been
저희
doing
팀도
wonderful.
잘하고 있습니다.
그렇습니다.
Not only Dove, but all the other players. And Dove, you looked so confident on Tryndamere.
다른 이유도 있을까요?
Could you tell us a detail about that pick?
그냥 코치님이 하라고 했어요. 그래서
Just
했어요.
Our coach told me to do so, so I
왜
did.
하라고 하셨을까요?
Why then? Why do you think he
그냥
told me
연습
so-
경기
told you so?
때부터 좀 코치님이 하라는
know,
거 하거든요.
I just play
그래가지고
whatever he
그냥
tells me
그거
to
믿고
do
했습니다.
in Screams as well.
코치님에 대한 믿음을 향해서 많은 분들이
I
박수까지
can
보내주고
feel
계신데
the big faith
사실
in
탤런트
the coaching
코치가
staff.
패치된 이후로 탑 쪽에서는 아무도
after
텔포를 안 들더라고요.
The
탑라이너
patch about the
입장에서
teleport,
바라보면
not many
이번
people
탤런트가
actually
어떤
take
영향을
that
주는
spell
거거든요.
anymore.
저는 이제
What do you think of
포지션
that as a top
변경을
laner?
해서 조금 원래대로 했으면 이제 다른 탑라이너들은 해오던 방식
I mean,
그대로 했을
if
테니까
it were
제가
the
아마
same
좀 많이
patch, you know,
밀렸을
other
것
top
같은데
laners would have played
이제
the same
바뀌면서
just
이제
like last
리셋이
year,
된
but
거니까
because of
공일장에
this
섰다고
new
생각합니다.
patch, I think it has become a
네,
lot
저한테
more
도움이
significant, and I think
아,
it's a really good
좋습니다.
patch for
그럼
me.
크로커 선수 패치에 대해서 물어볼게요.
Kuroko,
1세트는
What do you think of
한타와
the
또 운영
patch
싸움에
and the
있어서
meta
좀
right
우위를
now? I
가져가면서
think you
경기를
guys were
뒤질 수
able to
있었는데
lead the game
이번
based
메타에서
on your
운영에 있어서
team fight and
정글
also
메타는
macro as
어떤지,
well.
그리고 정글의
So could you
위상은
break down the
어떻게
jungle
생각하는지 들어볼게요.
macro? And meta.
지금 조금 정글이
Right now,
실행했을 때 다 같이 따라주는
you know,
팀원들의 몫이
If
좀
a
많이
jungler
중요한 것
goes
같고,
in for a
그래서
play, I
그거
think the
설계하는데도
rest
정글의
should
몫이
also follow. So
정글
junglers that knows how to
포지션들의
set up
설계력이 좀 많이 중요해지는
is
메타인
really
것 같아요.
important in terms of winning a game.
이 세트는 상대가 빠르게
Game number
자르반을
2,
가져갔고 이
they-
자르반이 치속을
The
들었거든요.
opponent took J4 so
어땠나요?
fast, and
사실
the rune
저는
choice
축구
was also
가만히
very
해보고
interesting.
이제
How was
치속
that?
가만도 많이 해봤는데
I mean, I also tried that, you know,
결국에
lethal tempo
이제 치속
J4.
가만히 터뜨리면은
But
물론
once you get the
좋지만
proc, it's really good.
가만히 그
However,
평타에서 6번을 평타를 쳐야
You
된다는
know,
거
that
이게
means you have
평타라고
to
생각을
do
하거든요.
6 autos in
스킬
one
풀을
team
계속
fight.
돌리면서 정복자 스택
So I think
근데
Conquer
그런
is
것이
way
좋은 것
better
같습니다.
instead of, you
조건이
know,
좀 까다로운 것
taking
같기
lethal
때문에
tempo.
크게 걱정은 하지 않았다라는 의미 같습니다. 도부 선수 아까도 얘기했지만 이 세트에
And
또다시 그브 트린 구도가
We had another
나오기도 했는데
Graves
이때
Tryndamere matchup in
소감은
game
어땠는지
number
들어보고
2.
싶거든요.
How did you feel?
이제 첫 라인전 때까지는 첫 번째
Well,
판보다
in
잘
the
돼가지고
first, you know,
이제
laning
이
phase,
판도
I
내가
think I
POG
did
각이
better
맞았는데
than game number 1, so I thought like
근데
maybe I'll be
김민호
carrying the
선수가
game once
템
again.
사고 나서 엄청 갑자기 잘해
However, after
졌어요.
buying a couple of
그래가지고
items,
많이
the opponent got a
밀리는
lot strong too.
그래가지고 제가 좀
So
아쉬웠어요.
I was a little
아,
bit
오늘
bummed.
이후에 좀 공부를 더 해야겠다라는 마음도 살짝 들었어요.
Do you think you have to
네,
improve a
수면도가
little bit
좀
maybe?
아쉬웠었던 것 같아요.
Yeah, I think I didn't have enough proficiency.
코리안 샤오후 도부 선수의 행보를
Looking
한번
forward to
기대해
seeing the
보겠습니다.
power of the
이렇게
Korean
리센
Xiaohu
선수가 젊은 피를 수혈하면서 도부
and
선수가
with
마청이
the
됐어요.
new
팀원들과
roster,
지내보니까
especially with a
어떤가요?
lot more rookies. How do you
네,
feel about the current roster of Leaf Sandbox?
세계가 있고 젊은 기운이 있어요. 제가
I
그
definitely
기운을
can
조금
feel their
따라가고
young
있습니다.
spirit.
아, 같이 젊어지고 있다.
네, 그렇죠,
And
그렇죠.
I'm getting
부럽네요.
younger together
크로커
with
선수는
them.
같이 지내보니까 어떤가요?
What about you, Croco?
애들이 다 비슷비슷해가지고
I mean, they're all the
솔직히
same, you know.
분위기가 작년이랑
But
좀
the team
막 그렇게
atmosphere
큰 차이는 없는 것 같아요.
isn't that different compared
좋습니다.
to last
작년에도
year.
낭만 가득했는데 올해도 낭만적인
I mean, Leaf
경기
Sandbox was also
펼쳐지길
so
바라시길
famous being
바라겠고요.
for
또 크로커
romantic
선수
in terms of
신인왕을 탔기
playing
때문에
the
이번
game.
시즌 조금 더
But
욕심이 생길
adding
것
on to
같기도
that,
하고
Croco,
또
you
2년
are the
차이기
rookie
때문에
of
책임감도 많이
2021.
느끼고 있을 것 같아요.
So what's
이번
your
시즌 어떤
goal
마음으로
for
임하고
this
있나요?
season and this year?
개인적으로는 작년에
I personally think
성적이
that
괜찮기도 했고 운이
Our
좋아서
team performed
신인왕과
quite well.
제가
and I got lucky to
어워즈에서
win the
서드라는
Rookie of the
상을
Year.
받았었는데 이번에는 정말 아예 리셋이
This time
된
around,
팀이기 때문에
It's a whole new
신인이
team.
정말 많아서 저희 팀에서도 웬만하면 신인왕을 배출을 하고 싶고요.
So I just want to keep doing a great performance, and also not only winning a personal award, but I also want to get a lot more accomplishment as a team. And a lot of fans are also excited for Live Sandbox this year. Any message over to the fans?
팬분들 감사하고 사랑합니다.
Thank
응원
you
많이
and I love
해주세요.
you. I appreciate your support.
크로커 선수의 한마디도 안 들어볼 수
What about
없습니다.
Krakow?
저는 사실 작년에
Well,
50명 오셨을 때도 되게
Even when
떨렸었는데
I had
이렇게
50
관중석이
fans,
다 꽉차
I was
있으니까
so happy
좀 더 떨리는
to see them. But with
경기였던 것
this
같습니다.
venue filled
이런
with
떨림이
fans,
네,
I feel
적응하고
so
더
nervous and happy at the
좋은
same
경기력
time.
보여드리고
I hope I can
드릴 수
continue
있도록 노력
showing
많이
you a
하겠습니다.
great
감사합니다.
performance. Thank you.
좋습니다. 이런 떨림이 또 설렘이 될 수 있기를 함께 응원해 보겠습니다. 오늘 승리 축하드립니다.
Once again, congratulations on the win, and this will be the end of the interview from Dov Krakow from Leap Sandbox, and back to our casters. Thank you.